Hi everyone, it's Susan Lester Ryan from Lester's Farm Market, and we are getting into our growing season, and that means that you're probably busy planting. So I'm going to start walking you through some of our greenhouses here at our main location as well as our second location at 71 Heavy Tree Road, so that you can kind of start planning your gardens and your containers. We know that there's so many options to pick from, but how do you pick the right ones? So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. So basically, when you're creating a container or a garden, you want to have three components: a thriller, the wow factor; a spiller, the things that cascade over the side or cover the ground; and then finally a filler. So equally as important, but more so not the highlight, but kind of filling in. So think about it as putting together an outfit. So you want to make sure that you have a mixture of textures and colors, and of course it's all personal choice. So today I'm standing here in greenhouse number 3 at our Brookfield Road location, and I'm going to show you some great filler options that are not only great because they're good to fill in spaces, but a lot of these here in this greenhouse are sold in 6-packs as well. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so this is early June. So right now things are just starting to bloom, which is just what you want to see because we don't want it to be too mature for when we go into our gardens or our containers. So first up we have calendulas. Calendulas are great because, look at this, first of all, this color is very stunning, comes in yellows and oranges, but it's also great for attracting pollinators in your gardens. You can also make soaps and other things out of it, moisturizers and whatnot. Of course, just look at these hanging bags. They're a great way to pop in some color into an area that might get some part sun, and you can hang them on your fence or on your wall or on your gate, whatever you have been. We do also have some other options this year for hanging bags too. They're just starting to fill out. Next up, we have some nicotiana. Again, you can start to see them just opening up there now. It's great because it stays tall, so somewhat kind of like fills in that gap. For me, I like to have, if you're going to see the pot all around, you're going to have taller in the center and then kind of lower around the edges. This ageratum, beautiful little blue flower. It's actually really hard to get blue flowers in annuals, so whenever I need a little cool color, this is a great option. Stays fairly low as well. Just look at how, it's not the typical flower, it's a little puff of flower. Next up we have phlox, available in a mixture of colors. So this one's kind of stays relatively low, not quite as low as the ageratum, but again, a nice little pop of color. This portulaca. For me, I love this one because it kind of has like a tropical look to it. Almost has like a succulent looking leaf. And then I'm going to show you the tag there. So as you can see, kind of looks almost like tissue paper flowers. Really nice to stay low. Celosa stays fairly low. And again, this is something that doesn't have the traditional bloom. And the foliage of it is attractive, and it has colors of reds, yellows, oranges. Now we're moving on to something that is super important. This here is called Dusty Miller, and it kind of looks just like snow right now. And in matter of fact, I planted this in my garden, and I've actually seen it right up until we've had snow and even through the snow. So this is a pretty hardy annual. And when you're just like an outfit again, so when you're putting together things, you want to make sure that there's something that ties everything all together. So something that's silver, like your Dusty Miller, your licorice plant, something like that, will help tie everything together, tie the colors together. Of course, I just want to pop one out so that you can see. We have lots of great roots growing here. And when you're planting this, you want to make sure that you cover up all of the old soil so that it has lots of space to grow. Okay, and then we're into some salvia. Again, a non-traditional bloom. This one's starting to pop out here, but equally as important. Lots of different colors into it. Snapdragons, another great pollinator option. And you can also use it for cut flowers too. As you can see, lots of different colors here. And this is why they're called snapdragons, because they look like they're snapping. Oh, this one's not quite open yet, but they do open and close. There we go. And then we have some nasturtiums. So these are edible flowers, also great for pollinators. And then cosmos. So cosmos are definitely one of the taller 6-packs that we have. And there's some open up down here, so I'm going to show you. There we go. So these nice red, white, and pink blooms. And I really like how it's so airy. So it doesn't have that really broad leaf like some of those last ones I just showed you. So it kind of fits in between things, whether it be on the back, maybe put it towards the back, the taller end of your garden or your container. There we go, just look at that. Okay, now we need some more fillers that are going to stay low. So I'm going to talk about alyssum. These ones here are great. Right now they're small but mighty. So they fill out quite an area once they get growing and into their space. And they really don't get much taller than say 3 to 4 inches, but they do kind of mound and fill up an area. And I'm gonna be walking backwards so I can see all these beautiful impatient colors. So these particular impatiens, there's many different kinds of impatiens, but these ones sold in our 6-packs are great for parts on areas. So for me, when I'm doing a garden or a container, I like to kind of tuck them in the side, because even if they're kind of overshadowed by a larger, bigger leaf, they're still surviving, they're still thriving. So they're really good. Nice little pop of color, can fit in anywhere. And there's so many colors. Look at all those colors. Yeah, wow. Okay, let's keep going. Another great shady option one would be these wax begonias. So a lot of you probably know the non-stop begonias, the tuberous begonias. These ones stay much smaller, of course, but still have the same kind of idea. So they're good for parts on, again, some like very similar to the impatiens. You can tuck them in underneath things, or you can kind of put them on the edge. Really good border plant too. So not only do you have this lovely green leaf, you also have this lovely bronze leaf too. And of course, when you're putting together a flower arrangement, you want to make sure that you don't overpower with too many blooms or too many big blooms, too many small blooms. Again, going back to creating an outfit. So these ones here are called coleus. A bit more of a shade lover. So, you know, if they can get around 4 to 5 hours of sun, be great. And as you can see, they're actually fairly tall. So these ones here, sometimes if you have a shady area, you can use that as one of your main focal points. And although there's not a bloom onto it, you can certainly use this as your thriller, your wow factor, because just look at how stunning that foliage color is. There's lots of different options there. And of course, all different heights too. Different heights, different textures. Great ways to add to any arrangement or garden that you may have. Now we have some shorter ones here, and they kind of stay nice and bushy. And a trick is, if you want it to kind of thicken out more, all you need to do is just in here, you just pinch off, and then that way it's going to branch out more rather than upwards. So there you go, tip for you today. Okay, and then down here we have some zinnias, which they're just starting to bud, as you can see here. But this is a beautiful, bright little flower. Doesn't like to have wet feet though, so that's a tricky part about putting it into an arrangement. So you really want to make sure that if you do have it into a container or a garden, that you have it kind of to the side where you don't have to directly water it. It will get water by itself. And another little shot of these hanging bags. And up here, of course, we have lots of beautiful hanging baskets happening. They're starting to cascade over the edges. These particular ones here are called callies or calibrachoas, and they won't go super long, but they will certainly fill out the pot. You'll still be able to see the bottom of the pot. Great for full sun areas. Of course, one of the newest things that we've been seeing is the love of houseplants and succulents. So we have a good selection here of individual succulents, and we do also have some gardens and some even cute little planters over in greenhouse number 5 here at Brookfield Road. So succulents are pretty unique because they don't really need a lot of care. Actually, it's kind of like if you kind of forget about them, the better they're going to do. So you don't want to water them too much. You don't want to put them in cold, obviously. They do like a bit more heat, but they do really good in your houses as well. So great for gifts for yourself, gifts for friends, anyone. And we also have some painted ones too. So eventually they will return to their natural colors. And spider plants, of course, these ones are so hardy. My mom Mary swears by them. They will survive through anything. And we have lots of options for you. I'm just gonna pop over to number 5 and show you those adorable succulent containers I was just talking about. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have some adorable succulent containers already put together for you. But you can also put together your own. Simply pick up a succulent and you can repurpose a lot of containers that you may already have at home, whether it be a mug, you get something off from the store. We get a lot of ours from away. And here's what we have. Just look at these cute little animal ones. Little zebras, little sheep, little cows. We have Groots, surprise, thoughtful ones. Then we have dinosaurs. We have whales, giraffes, a little bit of everything, honestly. So it's really easy to find a pot that is unique to you and make it your own. So thank you all so much for joining me today for a super quick tour around some of our greenhouses today. This is something that we're going to keep doing because we know, again, there's just so many options out there. Where do you start? So we're here to give you help. And again, 173 Brookfield Road and 71 Heavy Tree Road, our greenhouses are open daily, rain or shine. So come on in, browse, start planting your garden, and we are always here to help with your gardening questions. See you again soon.